4 tips that I've been using over the last few days, and I mean that I use in general for staying productive and making the most out of your day, especially right now. If you're stuck at home, it's kind of, you're getting a little bit stir crazy, how to really make the most of this time so that you come through it stronger in your business or whatever goals you want to hit. So I'm gonna jump right into it. And if you're hopping on the live stream or watching the replay, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're watching or whatever questions you have. So the first tip that I'm going to share, which is really the foundation that keeps me really productive, is that I have what I call daily pillars that I do every single day to make sure that, hey, it's like the equivalent of making your bed in the morning. You know, if you make your bed in the morning, according to a lot of people, I'm not perfect with this, but a lot of people say if you make your bed in the morning, it's like you've done something that is completely in your control in during the day, first thing in the morning, and you feel really good and it creates a really powerful start to the rest of your day. I'm still working on that habit. But the equivalent for me that's more effective is to establish some grounding pillars in my business that I do every single day, at least during the weekday, right? Weekends are kind of time off, but during the weekday, so that I feel like, okay, I'm in work mode. It tells my brain, hey, I did this. This was my daily to do. It's like maybe brushing your teeth as well. And so what that looks like for me, at least right now, is this, daily live stream of some sort, whether that's on Facebook or on Instagram, like I did yesterday, or maybe it's a YouTube video that I then post, right? Some sort of live video to share with you something useful and helpful especially for everything going on right now. Then I will post an update on Instagram as well. And then I'm committed to doing at least 3 to 4 emails to my email list a week, if not all 5 days of the week, right? So those are my daily pillars: the daily live stream video, the one Instagram post or story, and then the 3 to 5 emails a week. And so every day, I know if I do those things, it's kind of like, okay, check. It's like the equivalent of brushing my teeth. I've shown up. I've done something that is moving me forward, right? And it doesn't matter where you are in your business, whether you're starting out or you're a bit more established like I am, it doesn't matter. You can define your daily pillars depending on where you are. And it doesn't have to take that long. It takes me, let's say, 30 minutes to do a live stream, right? 20 minutes to write an email, maybe like 10 minutes to write an Instagram post, maybe a little bit longer if I'm trying to mess with the image and have a little bit of fun with that, right? So what was that, like an hour or so? So those are my daily pillars. And so for you, what I would recommend is establish what your daily pillars are going to be. And again, at least during the weekday, right? If you're starting out in your business, it could be as simple as, hey, I'm gonna, go wherever my clients are online, do one post, right? Whether that's in a Facebook group, on my Instagram, on LinkedIn, wherever. Or it could be, I'm gonna pitch 3 potential clients right now. Whatever that looks like, whatever your daily pillars are, write them down and then make them the things that you use to kind of start off your day, right? The hardest, most active thing that you do during the day, that's the thing that you start with. So you guys will have noticed, right? In general, I like to do my live streams early in the morning because that's when my energy is high. That's when I'm excited to be connecting. And then as the day goes on, I kind of like, all right, need to go back to recharging by myself. So that's the way I think about it. So that's tip number 1, establishing your daily pillars, having those really ground you and set your mind to, okay, I'm in work mode, right? Because what I've noticed is that I've been doing this for a while. I've been working from home for, 6 years now. And there have been days sometimes when I start my morning and I'm watching a show, right? Just because maybe I saw a really great episode the previous night and I really want to see what happened. And I start my day like that. The rest of the day, I don't feel like working at all, right? So starting your day with those daily pillars. All right, so that's tip number 1. So tip number 2 is really to be thinking about this time. Now, I completely get it. If you're at home and your kids are at home, you're having to figure out homeschooling and everything as well. However, if your partner is also at home and you guys have a little bit more time, what I would be thinking through is, do I have a little bit more time? Can I use a little bit more of that time to go out there and work on my long-term goals or projects, whatever that is, right? And so what I do, this is kind of 2 tips in 1, is I chunk my day into different themes, right? So in the morning is the kind of short-term daily pillar stuff, the show up, the connect, the be of service, and especially in this time type of stuff that I just talked about, right? So whatever that looks like for you. Then as the day goes on, as I just mentioned a second ago, I move more into the, okay, what are the longer term projects? And so I'll share a few of my own examples with you guys. So right now there are a few courses that I'm wrapping up. These are courses that I've had sitting in our course membership site completed for about a year or more now. I just have not gotten around to writing the sales page. So I'm finally like, all right, use this a little bit of extra time. Some days my husband gets to be home a little bit more so he can walk our dog. Use this time to really think about doubling down and finishing those sales pages. So often that's what the afternoons look like for me. Now, just as a fun side note, and I want to mention this specifically because I have a lot of people who come to me and say, look, I've got a lot of different interests. I'm multi-passionate. I want to build lots of businesses. I don't want to be just stuck in one business for the rest of my life. And my response is, I get it. Neither do I, right? Just because you do one thing and you do it well does not mean you can't go on and do other things as well, right? And so another thing that I've talked about for quite a while, and I'm finally doing something about it. Took me quite a few years, but something I'm actually starting to work on is learning to program, to code, right? To code an app for fun. I mean, obviously, or not obviously, but this will be something I build and hopefully create into a business at some point. But right now it's just something I've always wanted to do. I've talked about it for years. And so I finally mostly decided, we'll see, still kind of a little bit of fear there, that I'm going to take a programming boot camp, right? So to take that, they require an interview. So it's like a college admissions process kind of. So I have to right now study for that. So in the evenings, that's what I'm doing. And it's a long-term project. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And I mean, I was starting to think about it for this year already before all of this happened. But now it's like, look, what can I do to make a little bit more of the time that I have where I'm not going outside right now to complete some long-term projects I've been putting off, right? And so the way I think about that is during the day, this is my business time. It's my daily pillars. It's my supporting my clients. It's things like that, right? Maybe in the evening is my long-term projects time, like studying coding, learning coding right now. I'm prepping for my interview, right? And so really chunking it into different times like that. And of course, this is also a great time to be spending more time with your family, more personal time, right? So I do have that as well. Like after this live stream, I'm going to go and walk my dog for his daily long walk. He just lifted his head at me. He's over there. He understands the word walk. And so really chunking that up as well, right? So having the short term, the daily pillars that ground you, the long term that you transition into. So let's see, I'm seeing some comments. Angela saying good morning. Good morning. Neil saying, Louisa, hope all is well in this crazy world. Stay safe. Thank you, Neil. I really appreciate that. And saying to you and everyone else, right? Staying safe, definitely doing my part, self-quarantining except to walk the dog and social distancing. So, hopefully we'll do our part and move this forward. And saying I have 5 mobile apps for iOS and Android. Awesome. Love it. All right. So that's tip number 2. So tip number 3 is using this time to really force yourself to connect. And here's what I mean. Not in like a forceful negative way, but in a really truly positive way. So normally when you're going outside, you're doing lunches, you're going to work, you're connecting with friends, all of that, it can feel like, okay, I'm just doing, what I need to do to show up, do my Zoom calls, do my lunches, do my dinners, whatever with friends. And I mean, let's be honest, for me, it's more like drinks. But whatever you need to do, right? However, now that we don't have that right now, this can be a really good time to really say, okay, where's that connection piece that I usually have in my life? And if I'm craving it a little bit more right now, and here's the thing I'm noticing, I'm an introvert. shared this with you guys since the very beginning. I recharge on my own, and I'm very happy spending time by myself for days or weeks at a time, to be honest. However, what I'm noticing is now that I'm forced to stay inside, I'm missing that connection. That's how it always goes, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm actively searching for different ways and prioritizing connecting with people. Now, there are different ways to connect, right? So, for example, connecting more with your clients. In the last few days, I've been starting my day going into my private client groups, answering questions, doing live streams, just because first I'm showing up more for my clients even more during this time, but also because I'm craving that connection. Doing these live streams with you guys, where I love doing these live streams. I always love them, but it's sometimes taxing for me to show up on a video and just, be in that energy. However, because I'm craving that, this makes it even more fun and exciting for me to do every day with you. Right? Reaching out to some friends I haven't spoken with in a while, or some past clients I haven't spoken with in a while, and just sending a note or saying, hey, I'd love to hop on a quick call just to talk through, what's going on. Let me know if I can support you, things like that. I've got quite a few of those lined up for this week. And taking that even a step further, right? If you want to make it a win-win connection plus doing something for your business, really reaching out to people who have audiences that are a good fit for what you do, and offering to connect via sharing value with them and their audience, right? Specifically via guest posts, via podcasts. So right now, yesterday was Monday. Yeah. I set some time aside, right? Pitched a few podcasts, pitched my editor at Business Insider for a new article idea I had, really connecting in that way as well. And I'm looking forward more than usual speaking with podcast hosts, so that I can, talk to people and of course create that win-win for you and your business. So really thinking about that proactively, using that time to connect, whether it's through live streams like this, whether it's just reaching out to people who are asking questions or commenting on your website or your posts, and giving feedback, answering questions, right? Just making that time a little bit more than usual. Because if you have kids at home, I know it's tough, but if you are having to stay at home, right, then hopefully you do have a little bit more time than usual. Okay, so that is tip number 3, right? So tip number 3, the fourth and final tip that I wanted to share with you, is really the key to being able to do all of this and not feel like you are, overwhelmed or burned out. And that's just doing all this without overthinking. And this is, by the way, this is a skill. Not overthinking is a key skill to so many things, but especially to building your business as an entrepreneur, right? And the reason for that is because, think about it. One of the most common things I hear from my students and clients is, hey, I was preparing for a live stream and it took me 30 minutes to prepare for a 30-minute live stream, or an hour to prepare for a 30-minute live stream, right? If you do that, your life is going to be pretty miserable. An hour to prepare for a 30-minute live stream, 2 hours to write a, 300, 400 word email, right? Spending 3 hours scripting a YouTube video. These are all things that are unfortunately relatively common. And if you do that, to be honest, especially with this type of business, where what I teach for you is to run a lean business, right? It can be very profitable. You can make a great income. You can help lots of people, but you don't need a really big team of 30 full-time employees to help you with all of this. So at this point in my business, yes, I have a lot of contractors. I think I have maybe 7 or 8 regular contractors that I work with to help me do all of these things. So I'm definitely not doing it myself, but no one's full-time, right? No one's just doing stuff because it's their job and they have to fill in the hours. And so we're as lean as possible. And what that means, and I also love creating content, right? So to be able to do all of this and to be able to do it in a way that's high quality, that's consistent, you've got to be able to work on not overthinking. That's essentially the skill here. And so this can be a great time to work on that skill. And the way you work on it is by really, the common, oh my gosh, is it Murphy's Law? I think it's Murphy's Law, right? Where the amount of time that you have for something or that no amount of time that it takes you to do something expands into the amount of time that you have for it, right? So the more time you have, the longer it's going to take you to do it. And so basically, if you set that time, you chunk it, you batch it the way we just talked about. You have your daily pillars. All right, my daily pillars, I'm going to, speak to 3 potential clients every single day. Just giving you an example. And I'm going to do that within an hour every day, right? By sharing some content on my Instagram, maybe by uploading a YouTube video, and by following up with a potential client. Again, made up examples just so you can see what I'm talking about. So if I do that, then I say, okay, I have an hour to do that. And within all of that time, you have to get it done. And so if that's the case, you show up, you do it, you don't overthink it. You're not wasting time thinking, what's this person going to think of me? What are people going to say? What if I look stupid? What if no one responds? What if I or ah on my video, right? Do your best. It's going to happen. You're going to make some mistakes, and then you're going to get better. And so using this time as a time to really move forward and develop this skill. And to be honest, if you do that, that's going to help you move forward so much faster and more enjoyably in your business than pretty much any other tip that I can think of right now. Saying must learn not to overthink it, love the concept. Yeah, it's key, right? Because the thing is, you want to enjoy your business. You want to enjoy the content that you're sharing. I love sharing these live streams with you guys because they're fun, and they're the result of a lot of hard-earned experience over the years, but it's not, how do I put this? It's not hard. Learning the experience, earning the knowledge was tough, but it's not like I'm spending an hour beforehand thinking, oh my gosh, how the heck can I, talk on this live stream and not and ah and deliver the best value, right? As a side note, you guys will notice that often for my videos, like for my YouTube videos, the production quality is slightly higher, right? I've got a video set up and a camera and all of that good stuff and good lighting. But for the majority of my videos and live streams, it's just me talking to you. We don't bother with the super fancy production because we haven't seen that increase the connection or the value that people get out of my content or the return in any way. And so if you're thinking, I need to have a perfect setup or a perfect whatever, no, use your phone, use your laptop, whatever you need, get started now, and that's good enough. The content that you're sharing is truly the most important thing. Doing that consistently, right? Having those daily pillars, that's what's going to make a way bigger difference. So those are the 4 tips that I wanted to share with you today to hopefully help you shift more into all right, what can I do during this time so that I'm not going stir crazy? I'm doing some productive stuff. I'm making progress in areas that I've been wanting to in a while. And so to do a quick recap, it's having those daily pillars, right? However many that is. For past clients, I've done 5 sales activities a day if you were starting out. Depending on where you are, it might be something else. But just giving you an example, I shared mine where I'm sharing certain types of content on my different communication platforms, right? Having those long-term projects that you're working on, one thing a day. For me right now, there's a prep course that I have to take to practice for the interview. And so I'm doing one lesson a day, right? So one thing, batching that time so that you've got time to work in your project, your business, whatever that looks like, doing the things that are going to move you forward short-term, the daily pillar stuff, and then working on your projects or your business, right? The things that are going to move you forward, help you hit those goals in the long term. Different things, having the time to do both, creating that specific connection time that's going to really help you, again, move your business forward and make this a more fulfilling and enriching time for you by allowing you to actually connect with more people. And then finally, not overthinking, working on that as a skill in of itself because it is. So let's see. Katrina saying consistent content supersedes the glamour. Love it. It's so true, guys. I've been doing this for, 5-6 years now. I first started when Periscope was, I started before that, but when Periscope came out, I was on it. You guys should have seen my Periscopes back then. The content has always been key. And if you are consistent, you show up with good content, to be honest, you can save yourself a lot of effort and invest your revenue in other areas that drive a higher return. Like I invest more in my course, in creating the courses, the development. We have a custom website, and that, to be honest, I feel like gives a better return to my clients and my audience than creating some fancy video, right? So you get to choose. But as long as you're consistent, as long as you're sharing that good content, as long as you're using one or hopefully all of these 4 tips, that's what's going to move you forward and help you make the most of this time. So that hopefully, right, we can turn negatives into positives. And I mean, sooner or later, we're going to come out of this, right? And my hope is that we're going to all come out of this stronger and hopefully a little further along in the goals and in the business that than before.